Folks, welcome back. The time has come to sell off my Pokemon investments and take the profits. No, I'm just kidding. But other people out there are feeling this way and they are wanting to start selling. We had our Patreon monthly call last night where that was one of the topics of conversations that a lot of us discussed. And there were some people in there that were, taking profits on some of their investments because they were happy with the gains they made in the amount of times they made them. They wanted to de-risk and, take some money off the table and either use it for other things or just sit on cash and kind of wait for opportunities that may be coming in the coming months, coming years, whatever it may be. And it's funny because in this Pokemon investing space, it's almost demonized when investors go to sell, or it's heavily questioned, right? Well, why are you selling? Do you see something on the horizon I should be afraid of? What are you going to do with the money? Or, everyone really dives into why you are selling. And the reality is, guys, why do you invest in anything to begin with, right? It's to make a profit. It's actually the definition of an investment. You put money into something in hopes that it does rise in value and makes you money. Now, we can get into all the different discussions on, why holding and building your wealth without, kind of taking on tax burdens and income and all that stuff is better. But at the end of the day, if you are happy with the profits that you made, you are getting to a level in your investment that's starting to, make you feel uneasy. You want to de-risk, you want to de-leverage, right? Maybe you want to bring down your cost basis on products to where, you don't have to worry about them anymore. Maybe you want to get down to a zero cost basis, right? Maybe you've doubled your money or more on some items and you just want to get down to a zero cost basis on the ones you're holding. You want to, take a little bit of profits, move on to something else, and you're going to hold only some for the long term. Whatever it may be, everyone's got a different goal, a different plan. Everyone's got different finances, different incomes. They're at different ages. Everyone's looking for something different. And I feel like people get wrapped up almost in the investing community side of it, where everyone's posting their shelves full or their warehouses full or their storage units full of boxes, and they're sharing their collector apps, and everyone's competing to see who can get the bigger investment type thing. It reminds me of gym culture, right? It's like people will start going to the gym and they'll get wrapped up in gym culture where they're trying to compete with weight. I can bench more than you. Oh yeah, well I can deadlift more. I can squat more than you can. It's just wait a second. Isn't the whole point of this to stay in shape, to get your body looking the way that you want it, to stay healthy, to not hurt yourself? You're trying to lift more than you actually can. Isn't that the point of being at the gym? Not trying to compete to see who's the best person at working out or can do the most weight. And I feel like that happens in a lot of circumstances. And Pokemon investing is no stranger to that. People are getting more worried about competing with the value of their collector apps, competing with how many cases they can stack, and they're losing sight of the entire goal here, right? The entire goal here is most of us are doing something on the side that can use our money without us working. The money works for us, and it can produce better gains than what we might see in placing our money elsewhere. And when we're happy with those gains, we can take that money and either continue to invest in Pokemon, invest elsewhere, use the money for other things that we've been waiting to do in life. A lot of I took, a bunch of sales recently, earlier this year, and I paid my house off because it was a goal that me and my wife had. And so I used the money that I made from investing in this stuff to do other things in the real world, other goals that I, wanted to accomplish because of the success in Pokemon investing. And everyone should be able to do that without almost getting berated onto why they would ever sell a Pokemon item. And the other thing I think is funny is when people will use certain products into kind of almost proving a point, but it's really a null and void point. They'll say things like, well, yeah, but X product is up more than it was, back when you sold. It's just well, maybe, but you don't even know what I did with that money, right? It's well, Alex, you sold, your Shining Legends ETBs back when they were $300, 4 years ago. Look at them now. They're $600, $700. Yeah, I get it. But with that money, what if I went out and bought Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign when they were $80? And now those boxes are exponentially more growth than the Shining Legends was, right? Do you understand? Well, Alex, you sold your Evolutions boxes, you told me, for $900 to $1,000 back in 2021. Yeah, I did. Well, did you see those? You should have held. Well, not necessarily, because I put that money into maybe things like Evolving Skies back when it was like, 300-400 a box. And now those are like 2,500. So you can kind of see how that was a better, scenario there. And so it's just like, just because you sell something and that item may be worth more in the future does not mean it is a bad call. You can do more with that money by taking advantage of plays that maybe have not even presented themselves yet. Reprints or restocks that may come, right? New sets that may come out and be lackluster and you might be able to get into very cheaply. There might be singles plays you're wanting to put money into, graded plays, right? Maybe you are starting to want to do this a little more full time and a little less passively, and you need capital for your business to have inventory to churn and burn to make money. There is literally a million different reasons you can think of to sell more than just, oh, he must be afraid the market's going to dip. Why would you sell if you don't think the market's going to dip? It's just like, stuff can literally go stagnant or can grow very slowly for years, while other things might grow very quickly, or an opportunity might open up to where if you had the cash, you can actually, make a huge gain, a huge margin on being able to buy that because you had the cash at the time somebody wanted to sell it. And so I would say, guys, you need to start living on your own terms, on what your goals are, right? No one can make that decision for you. What are your finances, right? What are your goals for life? What are you trying to accomplish here, right? What are you comfortable with, both risk-wise, both total value-wise? Are you trying to reduce like the amount of work you have to do in the future because you want to keep your position size lower in Pokemon? Are you whatever it may be? There's a million. Again, I could go through and think of a million reasons, but this idea that you just never sell it, it's kind of wild. And I know people point to like other large creators, and you can look at like Rudy, Alpha Investments. Guys, Rudy just ran a whale sale for all of his Patreon members where he had a whole slew of Sword and Shield boxes and he sold tons and tons of those bundles. You just don't realize that these people are selling their positions because they do it in ways that aren't like a public dump of cases on TCG Player or eBay, right? The amount of sales Rudy did on some of these sales that he makes. I know a while back he sold a bunch of Paldea Evolve cases. It is the equivalent of hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of booster boxes, which you have to believe is a good portion of his position in some of these sets. And then you're going to say, well, why would he do that? Sword and Shield's obviously going to go up. Maybe he has other places to put the money. Maybe he's happy with the gains he's made. Maybe he's trying to get down to a zero cost basis and just not care about everything else he's holding and forget about it. You never know, right? And there's tons of other large stores, large investors that do the same thing. Everyone's consistently taking profits here or there on different positions. A lot of people right now are taking profits on their XY and Sun and Moon boxes. Does that mean they don't think XY or Sun and Moon's ever going to be worth more in the future? No, I doubt it. They probably are just happy with the gains they made in a short amount of time and the parabolic growth. And they're worried that, maybe it doesn't drop. Maybe it goes stagnant for years. Maybe there is a very small amount of gains for years and I can do better elsewhere. And so just this video is really get more to normalize selling, like normalize taking gains, normalize, rinsing or repeating that money into other products. And, it doesn't have to be this buy and hold forever. And if you don't hold, you're like not a true investor and you're just a flipper or a scalper because you didn't hold it X amount of time. And it's just, people just create all these weird scenarios and like made up worlds and rules in this online space. And it's all just, it's bullshit, guys. All you're doing here, if you're trying to invest, you are trying to make your money grow for you more than it was the day before. And you're trying to find the best items that have the risk tolerance that you're comfortable with that can outperform other places with the similar risk tolerances. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's that simple. So hopefully this video helped. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm out.